This week on the channel, I talk about all of my content creation gear and how I make this look like this. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Adam. I hope you're doing well. Over the past couple of weeks, I've gotten a few comments about the way that my videos look, and I figured that it was time to talk about the gear that I'm using in order to make these videos. So whether you're a person looking to get into content creation or you're a musician looking to improve the quality of the stuff that you're putting out, I feel like this is a useful video for either of you. So first things first, let's get rid of all of this production quality. So I'm gonna keep the ring light on just so that my face is a little bit brighter, but this is basically my home office and this is what it looks like with the lights on. Let's take a look around. So there's a tour of the space that I'm using. Most of the time you're going to see me somewhere in this back half of the room. Either this view with the guitar and the computer in the background, or from the desk itself with the bar behind me. Let's go ahead and talk about the gear itself. I'll do my best to include links for as many of these products as possible. Please note that they may be affiliates, which help support the channel. In this configuration, there are 4 visible lights. The first one being a ring light, which provides this very unique effect, which includes the little halos around the eyes that some people think looks great and other people are really annoyed by. This one is made by Newer, and they also make the 2 LED lights that are behind me. They are full RGB, they came with their own soft boxes and can be controlled via Bluetooth in the companion app for your smartphone or tablet. I also have the lamp on the desk, which is kind of washing a little bit. In the desk position, the lighting is set up a little bit differently, but the components are roughly the same. You have a bright light in front to illuminate the face and the subject. You have a light off to the side doing this color wash, and then you have a light in the background just for ambiance. I also have a small set of color changing LEDs on the bar itself that I can switch out depending on the mood I'm trying to go for. In regards to cameras, almost every piece of content you have seen on this channel has been recorded with an iPhone. Initially, it was my iPhone XS, and then I recently updated to the iPhone 13 Pro because it has this really great cinematic feature, which allows you to adjust the depth of field. Here it is with it off, and here it is with it enabled. You can even adjust the amount of that depth of field effect after the fact, which is really, really neat. There are a couple of instances where I've also used a DSLR, but the one that I have is a little bit older and not full frame, and it doesn't really handle these low light situations really well. In regards to audio, you're either going to hear the iPhone mic itself, which is what I'm using right now. Before the iPhone 13 Pro was released, I was using an app called Filmic Pro, which allowed me to use this lightning connector enabled lavalier. You've probably seen that in a bunch of other videos. The good thing about Filmic Pro was that it allowed me to adjust the input level of this microphone, which the iOS camera app does not. The downside of Filmic Pro is that it was very glitchy, and there were many times where I was trying to record footage and the audio didn't line up, or the file didn't completely save the right way, and I lost a bunch of work. So the current plan is to ditch this lavalier and get one that interfaces better with the iRig Stream. For any footage on social media where I'm singing or playing over something, the iRig Stream is going to be the audio interface that I use. In order to use the SM7 with the iRig Stream, it does require a preamp, and I am using my TC Helicon Voice Live Play for that purpose. The iRig Stream iPhone combo is so good, it has actually replaced my computer for recording the podcast. For older videos or content that requires a bit more production, I'll record the audio directly into my computer. The computer signal chain is going to be my SM7B running into a Soyuz mic launcher that then goes into my Apogee Element 24 interface. I record all of that content into Logic Pro. And for guitar, I'm either using my Line 6 HX Stomp or Helix Native in Logic itself. If given the choice, I prefer to use the iRig Stream because the end product is more immediate, but it's not a feasible solution for everything I do. In using any sort of interface, you're going to need some way to monitor yourself. I've got a couple pairs of in-ear monitors that I use. I have my 64 Audio Custom A3Es, but in a pinch, I also have a cheap pair that I bought on Amazon. I'll put a link for those in the description. Now for holding the phone to shoot the footage, I have a couple of things that I use. My favorite items are these friction mounts. The basic gist is they clamp on one side to a solid object, either a pole or some section of your desk. They work really great on mic stands. On the other end, they're gonna have some sort of mount. This one is for a smartphone that kind of stretches like this. And basically when you have them in the position you want, you torque it down as tight as you can, and the position holds very solidly. Every musician who's doing content creation should have at least a handful of these. Put one in your gig bag never leave home without it. For videos that I'm not shooting at the desk, I do have a standard camera tripod with one of these guys, which is a smartphone mount. This one's all metal and super solid. It screws into a standard tripod base. I think they're like 10 bucks on Amazon. And for mobile shots, like the walkthrough I just did of my office, I have this Dji Osmo 3. It's basically just a gimbal for a smartphone. The DJI app has a lot of really cool features that I don't necessarily use a whole bunch, but these are about 100 bucks. I highly recommend getting something like that if you're going to be walking around in a space. Other mounts that I use include the iClip Expand, which I typically use to hold my iPad while I'm doing scripted content. It allows me to read lines before I deliver them and have it slightly off camera so that I can reference things quickly. As far as software goes, I mentioned earlier that I use Logic Pro to record all my audio, and then the video footage is edited in Final Cut Pro. One thing to note, if you're getting into content creation, you're gonna need some storage solutions. For my current video projects, I have a 1 terabyte USB-C drive that I carry around with me everywhere I go. When a project is finished, it will go off that drive and onto a hard drive array, which is this Orico 4-bay hard drive chassis. It contains 4 terabyte drives that are running RAID 0, so I have 8 terabytes of redundant storage. So I think that covers everything. If you saw something in the video that I didn't cover, leave a comment and let me know. That's going to do it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are interested in getting into more content creation stuff but would like some help, I do offer personal coaching. A link for that will be in the description. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time.